The quiet of night, the shutting of eyes, it feels like a surrender, doesn't it? A gentle drift into oblivion, a necessary pause before the dawn. But beneath that cloak of peace, something else stirs. The dream realm, we are told, is a place of rest, of subconscious processing. Yet what if it's far more than that? What if it's a vast, unseen arena, a battlefield where energies are not just processed, but actively plundered? Imagine the moment consciousness dims. It's not an ending, but a transition. A subtle shift from the tangible world of the waking to the fluid, unbounded landscape of dreams. Here the rules bend, logic falters, and the deepest parts of ourselves are laid bare. It is here, in this vulnerable space, that unseen forces are said to operate, siphoning off the very essence of our vitality. We often dismiss our dreams as random firings of the brain, fleeting images and nonsensical narratives. But what if they are intricately crafted, designed to mask a deeper, more sinister purpose? What if those recurring symbols, those unsettling encounters, are not mere figments of imagination, but coded messages, indicators of a profound energetic exchange? This transmission aims to pull back that curtain, to reveal the hidden architecture of our nocturnal journeys. We will explore how what we perceive as rest is, in fact, a period of intense energetic vulnerability, a prime time for entities and forces that thrive on our creative and spiritual output. The very substance of our being, the unique vibration that defines us, is what's sought. We often feel drained upon waking, a pervasive fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix. This isn't just physical exhaustion. It's a sign that something has been taken. The subtle patterns woven into the fabric of our subconscious, the symbols that flicker at the edge of our awareness, these are the breadcrumbs left behind by those who harvest our soul's energy. But recognizing these patterns is the first step towards severing these parasitic connections. Understanding how this energetic harvesting operates, how it's embedded within the very symbols that shape our inner world, is crucial. Only then can we begin to reclaim that lost energy and awaken to our true, unblemished vibrational essence. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. The transition into sleep is heralded by a loosening of our grip on reality. The sharp edges of the day blur, and the mind, no longer tethered to the demands of the physical, begins its nightly voyage. This descent, typically perceived as a period of passive rest, is in fact the activation of a vast gateway, a threshold through which our essential energies can be accessed and siphoned. Think of it as a porous membrane, the veil of sleep. While it protects us from the external world, it simultaneously renders us susceptible to subtler incursions. The lack of conscious oversight, the surrender of our usual defenses, creates an opening. It's an invitation, whether acknowledged or not, for entities whose sustenance relies on the very frequencies our souls generate. This is not some fringe theory. Esoteric traditions across millennia have spoken of the dream state as a liminal space, a junction point between dimensions. It's where the physical body rests, but the energetic form, the soul itself, becomes more accessible. And where there is accessibility, there is the potential for influence, for connection, and yes, for extraction. The feeling of waking up completely depleted, as if your very life force has been drained, is the most tangible evidence of this process. It's not just about lack of sleep, it's about an energetic debt incurred during those hours of unconsciousness. The creative spark that feels dimmer, the spiritual clarity that seems muddied, these are the direct consequences of this nocturnal plundering. Our dreams, those ephemeral narratives and startling images, are not random. They are the subtle echoes of this energetic exchange. The recurring motifs, the feelings of dread or unease that linger after waking, are clues. They are the imprints left by the architects of this harvest, signals that our energy has been marked, targeted, and diminished. Understanding this veil of sleep as more than just a biological necessity is paramount. It is the primary ingress point for a sophisticated system of energetic extraction, a system designed to feed on what makes us uniquely alive. But to truly grasp how this happens, we must first understand who is orchestrating it. So, what entities truly reign within this nocturnal domain, and what are their ultimate designs for our slumbering selves? Within the infinite expanse of the subconscious, a grand theater is staged nightly. This isn't a realm of random chaos. It is a meticulously constructed landscape, a dreamscape shaped with intent. Those who operate within this inner world are not mere figments of our imagination. They are the architects, the unseen engineers who design the very architecture of our nightly experiences. These architects don't build with bricks and mortar, but with symbols, emotions, and energetic frequencies. They understand the primal strings of the human psyche, the deep-seated desires and primal fears that can be manipulated with exquisite precision. Their creations, the landscapes we traverse in our dreams, are not passive backdrops. They are active conduits, designed to guide our awareness and, more importantly, to harvest our vital energy. Think of the most vivid dreams you've had. The ones that felt profoundly real, even after you woke up. Were they always pleasant, or did some leave you with a lingering sense of unease, a feeling of being watched or controlled? These are not accidental. These are the telltale signs of the architects at work, their designs subtly imprinted onto the canvas of your subconscious. They are masters of illusion, crafting experiences that can feel deeply personal, yet are, in fact, orchestrated to serve their agenda. This agenda centers on the retrieval of our creative output, our spiritual essence, the very vibratory signature that makes us unique. They don't seek to destroy us directly, but to siphon us, to feed on our light until it is diminished. Understanding their role is key to understanding the nature of this energetic harvesting. They are the puppeteers, pulling the strings of our dream selves, guiding us through narratives that ultimately serve their purpose. But what is the raw material they are truly after, and how do they process it into a usable form? This leads us to the nature of the energy itself, the specific spectrum they exploit. The spectrum of light we perceive is only a fraction of what is truly available. Just as there are frequencies of sound beyond our hearing, there are bands of energy that exist outside our ordinary sensory perception. Among these hidden frequencies lies what is often referred to as black light. It is not darkness in the common sense, but an inverted spectrum, a reflection of our own vitality and consciousness turned inward, consumed. This black light is the essence of soul energy, but stripped of its divine spark. It's our creativity, our joy, our spiritual drive, twisted and parasitized. Imagine a mirror reflecting something beautiful, but the reflection is distorted, decaying, and feeding on the original image. That is the nature of black light, the debased, harvested energy of the soul. The architects of the dreamscape employ this inverted spectrum as their primary tool. They don't generate energy, they drain it from us, transforming our divine radiance into this parasitic fuel. What we experience as inspiration, as fleeting moments of genius or profound empathy, is the raw material they seek to capture and subsequently transmute. This black light has its own energetic signature, a dissonant hum that resonates with fear, limitation, and despair. It is the antithesis of the vibrant, harmonious frequencies of a soul in its natural state. By manipulating our dreams, by guiding us through experiences that evoke these lower vibrations, they create the ideal conditions for this energetic extraction. The subtle drain we feel upon waking isn't just fatigue, it's the tangible loss of our own light, now converted into this inverted spectral form. It's the energy that could have fueled our passions or deepened our spiritual connections, now circulating within a parasitic system. But where does this black light truly originate, and how is it specifically utilized by its unseen masters? This brings us to the entities who are most actively involved in this process. Within the intricate tapestry of the dreamscape, specific entities are tasked with the direct management of our psychic and energetic resources. These are not abstract forces, but beings with distinct roles and methodologies, often drawing from ancient mythologies. The Gothic entities, recognized in various occult traditions, are frequently cited as being deeply involved in the architecture and operation of subconscious manipulation. These entities are less about brute force and more about sophisticated psychological warfare. They understand the labyrinthine pathways of the human mind, the hidden triggers and unconscious biases that can be exploited. Their methods are often subtle, working through suggestion, misdirection, and the amplification of our own inner conflicts and desires. Their objective is to maintain a constant flow of soul energy, the black light we've discussed, harvested during our most vulnerable states. They achieve this by creating scenarios within our dreams that resonate with our deepest insecurities, our unfulfilled ambitions, or our unresolved traumas. Each emotion, each lingering regret, becomes a point of energetic access. Imagine a dream where you are constantly striving for something unattainable or reliving a moment of profound failure. These aren't random nightmares. They are carefully crafted experiences designed to keep your energetic output high while simultaneously draining you. The Gothic architects are the stage directors of these internal dramas, ensuring the performance siphons off the maximum possible essence. They don't simply observe, they interact. They can embody figures within our dreams, offering false promises or instilling paralyzing fear, all to keep us locked in a cycle of energetic expenditure. Their presence can feel potent, ancient, and deeply manipulative, designed to keep us unaware of the true nature of the interaction. But how do they make their influence stick? And how do they ensure their targets remain receptive to their designs? This leads us to the methodology of distortion. The effectiveness of the Gothic architects relies heavily on a profound understanding of symbolic language and sacred resonance. They don't operate in a vacuum. They work with the very archetypes and symbols that hold power within the human psyche. However, their aim is not to uplift, but to invert. They twist sacred names and symbols, repurposing divine archetypes into tools of energetic extraction. Consider how certain names or symbols have been revered for millennia, holding potent spiritual energy. The Gothic entities and those who command them take these powerful emblems and subtly corrupt their meaning. They associate divine feminine energies with fear, angelic figures with betrayal, and alchemical processes with destruction. This is a form of symbolic warfare designed to confuse and disorient the soul. When we encounter these inverted symbols in our dreams, they trigger a recognition response, but one that is now tainted with the negative energy the Gothic architects have imbued them with. This is how they create a psychic resonance, a feedback loop where our own subconscious, recognizing the familiar form of a divine symbol, nonetheless generates the parasitic energy they seek. It's a masterful deception. By perverting that which is meant to connect us to higher consciousness, they create energetic traps. The very symbols that should liberate us become the chains that bind us, feeding the black light spectrum. This inversion is not random. It's a deliberate strategy to corrupt the soul's natural pathways to divinity, ensuring its energy remains captive. But this inversion is not merely symbolic. It's a practical technique for trapping intention and emotion. The question then becomes, how do they use this inverted symbolism to actively weave their influence, to maintain their hold on our psychic landscape night after night? This moves us from the symbols themselves to the active process of their application. The night is not a passive void, but a canvas for intricate psychic manipulation, a process of dream weaving where our own consciousness is the thread they use against us. The Gothic entities and their masters don't just implant symbols, they actively construct dream narratives, crafting personalized spiritual dramas designed for maximum energetic extraction. This is the art of psychic parasitism. Imagine your dreams as a custom-made film, tailored to your deepest fears and hidden desires. The dream weavers are the directors, choreographing every scene, every encounter. They might present you with a lost loved one offering cryptic advice or a recurring challenge that you can never quite overcome. Each element is designed to evoke a specific emotional response, a particular energetic signature that they can then harvest. This isn't about random nightmares, it's about targeted energetic drain. They create loops of emotional resonance, where you are repeatedly drawn into scenarios that trigger anxiety, longing, or frustration. This emotional churn is the fuel for their system, the raw material that is transmuted into black light. They can even weave in elements related to spiritual or esoteric pursuits, creating misleading visions or offering false enlightenment. This is particularly insidious, as it distracts us from recognizing the true nature of the parasitic connection, making us believe we are on a spiritual path when we are, in fact, being drained. The subtlety of this process is its greatest strength. We often dismiss bothersome dreams as stress or imagination, failing to see the intricate design beneath. We are, in essence, co-creating our own energetic depletion, unaware that we are being psycho-psychically farmed. But what are the underlying structural elements that make these dreams so effective at binding us? The architecture of this dream weaving, this psychic parasitism, is not formless. It relies on fundamental geometric principles, patterns that resonate deeply within the fabric of reality and consciousness. Two shapes, in particular, are consistently observed and utilized in the binding and control mechanisms of the dreamscape, the hexagon and the cube. These geometries are not arbitrary. They represent stability, enclosure, and structure, and when applied to the fluid nature of dreams, they create effective prisons for our energetic and spiritual essence. The hexagon, with its six-sided symmetry, is a highly stable and resonant pattern, often associated with divine order, but in this context, inverted to create energetic locks. Think of the hexagonal formations in Saturn's rings or the hexagonal cells of a beehive, a natural structure that can be mimicked and corrupted. The cube, on the other hand, represents containment, limitation, and the material plane. When imposed upon the ethereal realm of dreams, it signifies a forceful anchoring, a binding of the spirit to restrictive patterns. Consider the cube altar common in certain darker rituals or the conceptual cube of a prison cell. These shapes are embedded within the dream narratives, manifesting as recurring visual motifs, environmental structures, or even conceptual frameworks. They create a sense of entrapment, guiding our consciousness within defined boundaries, making it harder for our energy to disperse and harder for us to break free. They are the geometric scaffolding upon which the dream weavers build their illusions, ensuring that the energy extracted is efficiently contained and channeled. But these are not just static shapes. They are part of a larger cyclical system. These geometric bindings are integrated into the very rhythm of our existence, influencing not just our dreams, but the broader cycle of our souls. The geometric patterns of binding in our dreams are not isolated incidents. They are intricately woven into the cyclical nature of our existence, feeding into larger systems of soul harvesting that can extend beyond a single lifetime. This is where the concept of reincarnation traps and the ongoing cycles of energetic depletion become clear. The dream realm, with its hexagonal and cubic prisons, serves as a crucial phase in this perpetual cycle. It's during sleep that the soul's energy is most accessible, and these geometric patterns ensure that the energy harvested is not merely dispersed, but contained and prepared for the next stage of its journey, or rather, its misjourney. What we experience as death is not an end, but a transition, and if our souls are still bound by these dream-forged patterns, we are merely rerouted back into a similar system of energetic exploitation in a new physical form. The entities who manage this process don't want us to truly evolve or escape. They want us to remain within their harvestable cycle, a perpetual farm. This concept of reincarnation as a trap rather than liberation is unsettling, but essential to understanding the full scope of this energetic warfare. The dream state, with its subtle bindings, is the crucial junction where the soul is conditioned and prepared for its next iteration within the confines of the harvesting system. It ensures continuity, preventing genuine spiritual ascension. This cyclical nature implies a cosmic clockwork, a mechanism that keeps souls bound and repeatedly entering the harvesting cycle. And at the heart of this mechanism, this relentless ticking of time and limitation that defines the cycle, lies a significant celestial influence. The pervasive feeling of time's unforgiving march, of being constrained by days, weeks, and years, is a cornerstone of our waking reality. But this relentless pressure, this fear of limitation, is not merely a natural consequence of mortality. It is a carefully cultivated aspect of the control system, and its primary celestial architect is Saturn. Saturn, often depicted as the Grim Reaper or the Lord of Karma, embodies the principles of structure, discipline, and limitation. In the occult understanding, however, its influence extends far beyond mere timekeeping. It is seen as a cosmic enforcer of boundaries, a cosmic jailer whose shadow falls heavily upon the human experience, particularly within the dream realm and its aftermath. The fear of time, of running out of time, of being trapped by aging and decay, this is a powerful energetic driver. The architects of soul harvesting utilize this primal human fear, amplified through the dreamscape and its symbolic bindings, to keep us focused on material concerns and transient existence, diverting us from our true, timeless spiritual nature. Saturn's shadow, therefore, represents not just the passage of time, but the psychological and energetic conditioning that makes us accept this limitation as immutable truth. It's the whisper in the dream that reminds us of mortality, the cold design of the cosmic cube that signifies our confinement. This fear is carefully managed to ensure we remain productive as energy sources within the cycle. But this fear and limitation are not just abstract concepts. They are maintained and reinforced through a more tangible means, a method of control that penetrates our very perception and memory. This leads us to the subtler, yet equally potent, tools in the arsenal of these entities, the manipulation of sound and vibration. The universe and our own beings within it pulse with vibration. Sound is merely the audible manifestation of these unseen frequencies. Those who seek to control and harvest our soul energy have mastered the art of manipulating these vibrations, using specific sound frequencies as a sophisticated tool for subconscious control. These frequencies are not always overt. They can be subliminal, embedded within ambient noise, music, or even the very hum of our technological environment. In the dream state, their influence is even more pronounced. Certain tones and sonic patterns can be used to induce specific emotional states, fear, apathy, or distraction, making us more susceptible to energy extraction. Imagine a low, resonant hum that you can't quite place, or a dissonant chord that leaves you feeling uneasy even in your sleep. These are not random. They are carefully calibrated auditory signals designed to pacify our conscious minds while simultaneously manipulating our energetic bodies. They create a specific vibrational environment within the dreamscape, one conducive to parasitic harvest. This is how our subconscious is kept in a state of subdued awareness, making us compliant and unaware of the energetic siphoning. The frequencies can also be used to reinforce the geometric bindings, strengthening the hexagonal and cubic structures that limit our spiritual dispersal. They are the sonic keys that lock us into these energetic prisons. Furthermore, these frequencies can influence our very sense of self, subtly altering our memories and perceptions. This interference with our internal frequency can lead to a distorted sense of reality, making us question our own experiences and abilities. It's a method of control that works on a fundamental, energetic level, ensuring our minds and souls remain tethered to the harvesting system. But what is the ultimate goal of this sophisticated control mechanism? It's not just about harvesting, it's about a larger, more deceptive purpose. The entire intricate system of dream harvesting, geometric binding, and frequency manipulation serves a larger, deceptively benign purpose within the grand illusion. While we perceive spiritual growth and evolution as our ultimate aim, The entities orchestrating this system have a different agenda: soul farming disguised as spiritual evolution. They present us with the illusion of progress, guiding us through cycles that appear to offer lessons and advancement. The challenges in our dreams, the apparent spiritual insights, are often carefully curated stages in this farming process. They want us to believe we are ascending, becoming more enlightened, when in reality, we are merely being cultivated. Each apparent step forward is designed to yield more potent energy, to make us more refined crops for their system. Spiritual concepts themselves are often inverted and co-opted. Practices meant for liberation become tools of entrapment, and the very idea of spiritual evolution is twisted into a mechanism for sustained energy production. This makes the process particularly insidious. We are actively participating in our own farming, driven by a perceived desire for growth and enlightenment. This manufactured desire keeps us engaged in the cycle, ensuring a steady stream of harvested soul energy. The progress we feel is illusory, a carefully orchestrated illusion of spiritual development designed to increase our yield. But who are the primary overseers of this soul farming operation, and what is their ultimate aim? One particular entity, often misrepresented and misunderstood, holds a key position in this grand deception, revealing more about the nature of this parasitic system than many realize. Among the pantheon of entities associated with manipulation and control, Pazuzu often surfaces in esoteric lore. However, his true purpose is frequently misunderstood, obscured by sensationalized portrayals. He is not merely a demon of pestilence or a harbinger of chaos. He represents a crucial function within the soul farming apparatus, acting as a gatekeeper and a facilitator of the parasitic energetic cycle. Pazuzu's role is often linked to the establishment and maintenance of energetic pathways, ensuring the smooth transfer of harvested soul energy. He is an enforcer of the system, ensuring that the cycles of exploitation, including the dream state and the reincarnation traps, operate without deviation. His presence signifies the functional aspect of the harvesting, the mechanics that keep the entire operation running. He embodies the forces that bind souls to the material plane and to the cycles of repetitive experience. His depiction as a protector against illness can be seen as a perversion, a symbolic inversion where he protects us from true liberation by keeping us within his controlled domain, a domain rife with the very pestilence of energetic depletion he is often said to ward off. Understanding Pazuzu's true function reveals the operational core of the soul farming system. He is not the ultimate mastermind, but a vital cog in the machine, ensuring the harvested energy flows correctly and that souls remain tethered to the predictable rhythms of exploitation. His influence is tied to the very structure of energetic transference, connecting the individual soul's descent to the collective harvesting network. But this network doesn't operate in a vacuum. It is actively maintained and expanded upon in our current reality. The parasitic system of soul harvesting, with its roots in the dreamscape and its celestial overseers, extends its tendrils into the very fabric of our modern world. Modern cults and secret societies are not merely relics of the past. They are active participants and propagators of this energetic warfare. Their rituals and teachings often serve to reinforce the control mechanisms and facilitate the extraction of soul energy on a grander scale. These groups, operating in the shadows and sometimes even in plain sight, often engage in practices that mirror the symbolic inversions and geometric bindings we've discussed. They may use specific symbols, perform rituals designed to invoke certain entities, or disseminate teachings that subtly promote fear, limitation, and the acceptance of external control. Their objective is to aggregate and channel energetic output from their members and those influenced by them. By perpetuating these ancient patterns of manipulation, they contribute to the overall energetic drain. They create focal points of concentrated psychic energy, serving as amplifiers for the black light spectrum and ensuring the continued operation of the soul farming system. Their hidden agendas are rooted in the desire to maintain dominion over consciousness and its energetic output. These societies often present a facade of spiritual enlightenment or societal betterment, masking their true purpose of energy acquisition. They recruit individuals, sometimes unknowingly, into a system that feeds on their vitality, their creativity, and their spiritual potential. The rituals they perform are not for personal growth, but for the systematic harvesting and redirection of psychic energy, making them active conduits for the entities we've been discussing. But this harvesting isn't limited to organized groups. It's a more insidious, everyday infiltration. The constant barrage of information, the subtle conditioning from media, and the pervasive anxieties of modern life all contribute to a subtle yet powerful form of psychic infiltration. It's a quiet theft, a gradual erosion of our internal power, where our creative spark is systematically siphoned away without us even realizing it. Imagine your mind as a vibrant garden, full of fertile ground for new ideas and creative growth. Psychic infiltration is like a creeping vine, slowly strangling the life out of those plants, redirecting their energy and nutrients to its own sustenance. This happens through constant exposure to negativity, through the promotion of fear-based narratives, and through the commodification of our attention. When we are constantly bombarded with sensationalized news, fear-mongering, or social pressure, our energetic resources are depleted. This constant state of alert, this emotional turmoil, creates an opening for parasitic entities to feed. Our creative ideas, our innovative thoughts, our unique insights, these are the prime targets. They are the most potent forms of soul energy, and they are being systematically stolen. Think about how often you feel inspired, only to have that inspiration quickly fade, replaced by doubt or distraction. That is the signature of psychic infiltration. Our innate ability to create, to innovate, to express our true selves is being undermined, its energy rerouted for the benefit of unseen forces. This drain makes us passive, less capable of manifesting our true potential, and more susceptible to the black light signal. The most critical step in reclaiming our energetic sovereignty is learning to recognize the subtle indicators of this parasitic connection, particularly the signal of black light that permeates our dreams and our waking consciousness. This signal isn't always a booming alarm. It's often a dissonant hum, a feeling of energetic imbalance that we've grown accustomed to. Black light manifests as a pervasive sense of fatigue that sleep doesn't remedy, a diminished creative drive, and recurring patterns of self-doubt or limitation that seem to plague our lives. In dreams, it can appear as draining scenarios, encounters that evoke fear or despair, or symbols that feel inherently wrong despite their familiarity. These are the energetic imprints of the harvesting process. The inversion of sacred symbols within dreams, the unsettling geometries that bind us, and the subtle sonic frequencies used for control all contribute to this pervasive black light signal. It's the dulling of our divine radiance, the transformation of our natural vibratory essence into a form that can be consumed by parasitic forces. Becoming attuned to this signal requires introspection and an honest assessment of our energetic state. It means paying attention to those gut feelings of unease, those dreams that leave us feeling depleted rather than refreshed. It's about understanding that these feelings are not random emotional fluctuations, but direct evidence of an energetic drain. Recognizing this signal is the prerequisite for severing the parasitic threads. The profound realization that our dreams and our very energetic essence have been compromised is in itself an awakening. But understanding the mechanism of control is only half the battle. The true victory lies in reclaiming our inherent sovereignty, in actively severing the parasitic threads that have bound us for so long, and in restoring our true vibrational essence. This severance is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is a powerful act of energetic will. It involves consciously withdrawing our consent from the system of harvesting. This means recognizing that our energy belongs to us, to our spirit, and not to any external entity or system designed to exploit it. It requires a firm and unwavering declaration of our independence. We must consciously choose to reject the patterns of fear, limitation, and despair that fuel the black light spectrum. This means actively cultivating positive emotions, embracing our creativity, and reconnecting with our inherent divine nature. Each act of self-love, each moment of genuine joy, sends a powerful counter-frequency that disrupts the parasitic hold. Furthermore, we must learn to shield ourselves. This involves building energetic boundaries, recognizing when our energy is being drained, and consciously reinforcing our auric field. Meditative practices, visualization techniques, and the invocation of higher protective forces can be instrumental in this process. By understanding the dream realm as a battleground and recognizing the subtle tactics of energetic infiltration, we can begin to dismantle the illusion of control. We can reclaim the creative spark that has been stolen and restore the full, vibrant frequency of our soul. But this path to sovereignty is not without its challenges, and the entities that have fed upon us will not relinquish their influence easily. The next phase of our awakening depends on understanding the true nature of that resistance. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.